Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hello, unicorns. Guess what? It's just us today. Yeah, you and me. And we are going to chat about worthiness and what does it mean to be worthy? And, well, that's it. That's really it. And I want to offer to you that you think about this primarily in the sense of relationships, because that is the big way that this shows up for us. And when I say relationships, I don't mean just romantic. Relationships can also mean relationships do mean you and another human, right? That is a relationship. At least you and one other human. That's it. That is a relationship. You can have a friendship. You can have an enemyship. I don't think that's actually a word, but you can have someone that you really don't like. You are still in relationship to them, right? The only people you do not have a relationship. Whoops, I got cut off there. Don't know what happened. Okay, tech difficulties. Look, the only person you do not have a relationship with is the person that you don't know yet. The only people you don't have a relationship with are people that you are unaware of. And even then, we could make an argument for the collective consciousness. We could make an argument for the collective repercussions of our actions, right? That no human truly is like on their own island, right? Everything you do does have a reaction that ripples out and touches even the most remotest parts of the world eventually. So really, I mean, when it comes down to it, we are in relationship with everything, every person, every creature, with our planet, with the universe. And not to overwhelm you, but that's the simple truth of it. And today we're going to center our conversation on romantic relationships. But I want you to just be aware that it's so much bigger than that. And the way that you relate to other humans, we can come back in from our existential view there for a moment, and just every human you interact with, realize that you are in relationship with them, with your friends, with your boss, with your family. You have a relationship with them. And every relationship problem that you have comes back to a sense of worthiness. See, there's two things that happen when you don't feel worthy. You also can't treat others as worthy. And here's what that looks like, because I've been there, right? When you really view others as so much more worthy than you are, and you think really lowly of yourself, a lot of you, my friends, then become people pleasers. And the funny thing is, you think that's being nice, but I used to too, but it's not. You are denying their ability to be a full grown-up human who's capable of taking care of themselves. Don't you agree? Have you ever thought about that? That when you are not allowing someone to be themselves, you are also, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here. When you're not allowing someone to be themselves, you're not treating them as worthy, right? You are discounting their humanity. You're discounting their ability to speak up for themselves. And there comes a time and a place to be, I talked about this several episodes ago. I don't even remember how long ago. I don't know, like a month or two. I think it was around the new year. Anyway, around my realizations of reaching this new level of confidence, now I'm in a stage where I really actively invite other people into the conversation to feel confident, because what I can unintentionally do is kind of bulldoze over people who are less confident than I am. And it's not intentional, but I trust them to be an adult and speak up for themselves. And I also sometimes make a point to invite them in and say, hey, by the way, I really welcome and want to hear your opinion, right? Either way, I'm not doing what I used to do and what many of you are doing, and that is trying to predict other people's um, wants and desires and sense of self. You're trying to predict that for them ahead of time. You're trying to people please them and manage their emotions for them, and that's not treating them as worthy. And it comes from a doubt about your own ability to feel worthy. It's interesting because the things that we think about other people, or the things we think other people think, we always are projecting onto them the way things work in our own head, right? So if you aren't really managing well your emotions and looking out for your own best interests, then you're going to think other people aren't. And then you chase them around trying to manage their life for them because you don't want them to feel hurt. When really the more empowering thing would be for you to manage your life and let them do theirs. They're not a fucking baby. The other thing that happens, and this I experienced if you read my some of my thrilling stories of my sex life series, that I was in a narcissistic relationship, and he did a lot of things that were really hurtful and unkind, but also knowing what I know now, I know that it came all from a deep sense of unworthiness. And he felt very small. He felt very, unworthy. I was going to say that. We've already said that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, his ego was so damaged and so fragile that the slightest inconvenience for me, or the slightest sense of an expectation from me, was enough to send him over the line. And he would get really angry and defensive because he was so afraid of disappointing me. He wouldn't have been afraid of disappointing me if he was truly confident, if he was truly okay being himself. But instead, he was making my happiness, or what he perceived as my happiness, much more important than actually just being himself or feeling his own feelings, right? So he felt deeply unworthy and was trying to manage other people around him to make sure that he could feel worthy. And so whether you're doing this from a standpoint of like, maybe you pull away from people to feel more worthy again, or maybe you do like I had done in the past, and that was to kind of throw yourself at people. It's like a BDSM power play, right? Like sub and dom. Some people are like kind of dominating to find their sense of worthiness. Some people are subbing to find their sense of worthiness. And we're all just playing this fucked up game. When really, if you knew to your core that you were worthy, you wouldn't need this game. You'd be able to show up so authentically and to allow others, everyone that you have a relationship with, to show up authentically as well. Here's some other things that happen when you don't have a sense of worthiness. You don't speak up for your desires. And you tolerate really shitty behavior from your relationships, from your partners, right? We're going to talk about this more in the context of romance. You tolerate some shitty ass behavior. Or sometimes it's not even shitty behavior, but it's behavior like that you don't really want in a relationship. And so instead of speaking up and being like, hey, I don't really want this, this is not me, and then trusting that your partner can say, oh, okay, and speak up for their own desires, y'all, we don't even know. Sometimes your partners are trying to do things because they think it's making you happy, and they just are waiting for you to speak up and tell them that it's not making you happy. Like, they're just going to keep going with it until you say, I don't really like this. They didn't even know that you don't like it. When I was a kid, there was this book we read. I forget what it was called, but it was like these two hippos. And they were in a relationship. Martha was the name of the wife. I remember that. I can't remember the husband hippo's name. I think they were hippos. Anyway, Martha kept making porridge for the guy, whatever his name is. We're just gonna call him Fred. Anyway, she kept making it for him because apparently she made it for him early on in the relationship, and he said that he loved it, but he said that he loved it because he was trying to make her feel good. And so she kept making it for him, like their whole marriage, their whole hippo marriage. And the whole book was him finding creative ways to get rid of the porridge so that he could tell her that he enjoyed it. And so he was like sticking it in his moccasins. He was shoving it down the drain. I think he was like taking it to the bathroom and dumping it down the toilet. I don't even know. I don't remember. But he did all these creative ways to get rid of it and make it look like he ate it and then tell her how much he enjoyed it. Both people were thinking that the way to find their worth or their value as far as their own perception and their value from another's perception. In other words, to see themselves through another person's eyes as worthy. They thought they had to do things that were inauthentic. Turns out Martha didn't even like cooking it. And by the end of the book, something happened. I forget how it happened, but they like finally admitted to each other. He's like, I don't really actually like this. And she's like, oh my God, I hate making it too. I was just doing it because I thought you liked it so much. And now sometimes in relationships, we do make sacrifices and do things we're not crazy about, but are you really sure that the thing that you think you're sacrificing for is something that your partner really, really, really enjoys? And is it something that you really want to be doing? Or can you be trusting your partner to go and find that need somewhere else? You know, that's one of the things that is pretty neat about an open relationship, or a polyamorous relationship, is that you are trusting your partner to completely like find their needs and their desires to get those things met without you having to be the sole provider for those things. I think it's a much more adult way of treating another human when you're no longer thinking, oh, I have to be everything to them. And why would you need to be everything to someone? Only because you're looking to feel worthy through their view of you. When you don't speak up for your desires in a relationship, you cut yourself off from intimacy. And now usually the reason you fear speaking up is the opposite. You're afraid that if you do speak up, you will create a disconnect. You will create a wall. You will create some kind of weird discomfort between you and your partner. When really the opposite is true. When you speak up for what you want, when you see your desires as worthy, when you see your needs, especially your emotional needs, as worthy, and you speak up, it doesn't actually matter whether your partner is into it or not, whether they're into like filling this need for you or not. If you don't speak up, you've already put a wall there. You've said, this isn't worth speaking up. I'm not worth being spoken up for by myself. You've now created a wall within yourself, a relationship with yourself of myself is not worthy of me speaking up and asking for what I want. And then you create a disconnect with your partner because you start treating them the same way. Like, hey, I really want this thing, but they're not going to give it to me. And so, or if I do, there's too big of a risk here. And so you already are not even allowing your partner to even possibly meet that need if they wanted to. So you create walls. which separates you from intimacy with your partner. And for most of you, it's really easy to see someone else's worth, right? It's harder to see your own worth. It's a common human problem. I want to just assure you of that. It's very common. It's very easy to see other people as worthy, to see their desires, their needs, their wants as being worthy, and them as a human being worthy of love. It's much more hard and difficult to see yourself that way when you haven't worked on that, when you haven't purposely fostered a sense of worthiness. Now, in part, that's kind of helpful from an evolutionary standpoint. Like, if you're constantly trying to, like, find worthiness in relation to others, then you'll be more likely to stick with the group, right? And sticking with the group helps you survive and not die from an attack from wild animals or another tribe or something, right? Like, that's not exactly the life we live anymore, is it? So now it's really unhelpful to be trying to gain your worth through what you do for other people or how you interact with people or how other people perceive you. That's what it comes down to. It's unhelpful because it keeps you from being your fullest, most effective self. I truly believe that you as a spirit, like, you came to this planet with a plan. In this lifetime, you've got a plan. You've got an amazing just way of being about you. And when you are trying to find your worth through someone else's perception of you, it's always going to fall short. It's going to fluctuate for them because their views are based on their experiences and their beliefs and their understandings. Your worth, though, especially as that spiritual being you are, your worth, it's 100%. In fact, like, you can't even measure it. You remember the episode Being Human? Like, you cannot measure your worth as a human. You are a beautiful, amazing, radiant, iconic being, one of a kind. You are a precious, worthy soul. And you've come here for a purpose. And that purpose isn't like, it's not something like you have to do this thing and change the world. That is not what your purpose is. Your purpose is to just be. If you haven't heard that episode on Being Human, I highly recommend you go back and listen to it. We really dive into this topic there. But your worth is immeasurable. It just is. And so is every other human's. So there's really not a need for your worth to be perceived or recognized by another person. It doesn't add to it. Just like, think of like minerals in the ground. Like my beautiful turquoise ring that my grandfather made that I wear all the time. It's gold, it's turquoise, it's beautiful. At one time, these beautiful things were in the ground. And they weren't less worthy then. They might not have had a worth to another, or to a human, until they were discovered, right? Until you saw them with your eyes, it can't have like comprehensible worth in that other person's mind. But these things always, it's not like suddenly they became worthy when they were seen. No, they have inherent value in their beauty, in their shape, in their properties, in their just being. So worthy. It wasn't that it became more worthy when it was turned into, when these things were brought together and turned into this gorgeous ring. They were worthy on their own. They're worthy as a ring. And one day there'll be something else. the perception is not where worth is found. So I want to ask you, I want to give you like a little homework assignment, should you accept, to think about and then make a list of what are the things that you think your best friend or your partner or partners are worthy of. What are they worthy of? And then like sit with that list. And I would question it. Like, do these things make sense to you in your worldview? Do they work? Are they true? Can you know that they're true? And then consider that everything you wrote on that list that other humans are worthy of, just because they're themselves, that you are worthy of the same. You are worthy of receiving love, of joy, of affection, of everything that you wrote on that list. I want to illustrate this for you another way to show you what worthiness is not, before you get caught in this goofy trap, okay? So, are we all worthy of being millionaires? We're removing it from relationships for a moment, just so you can think about it a little more clearly, a little less close to home. Okay. I want to offer to you that doesn't even make sense as a question, because it implies that millionaires receive more joy, more love, more affection than non-millionaires. Like, they're more fulfilled as a human than non-millionaires. That they have more emotional well-being than non-millionaires. And that's so not true. So not true. Let me share with you a quick story or a quick perspective from my trip to Ghana. I went there, wow, I guess it's 6 years ago now, on a missions trip with the church I used to go to. Now, I don't condone missions trips anymore. I would not go on another one. I don't think that they're right, but whatever. That's a topic for another day. We're not going to get into it. But in Ghana, I met like the poorest humans that I'd ever interacted with. And they had so much more joy than most of the people that I interact with here at home. They were more fulfilled. They had more joy. They had more happiness. They had I picked up on this sense of like love. Like, they had love that was overflowing for others. And they also were so capable of receiving love. There was so much love, so much joy, so much abundance emotionally. And like, they were living in dirt huts, they were living in shipping containers, they were living just like on the side of docks in little tents. It was wild to experience. So I really, really, really want to offer to you that your emotional abundance, you are worthy of emotional abundance. And physical differences, like having $1 million or not, is not what someone is or isn't worthy of. It doesn't even make sense, right? When we're talking about you have inherent worth, you are worthy of feeling, you are worthy of being. But a circumstance that you have, like being a millionaire, doesn't give you more emotional fulfillment. I saw that firsthand. It's great. I'm sure it will be wonderful when I make it there. I'm sure it will be wonderful to be a millionaire. I can't wait. I do want to have a multi-million dollar business, and I want to help others create their multi-million dollar businesses. I love this. But we've got to get rid of this hierarchy, the hierarchy thinking. Someone with $1 million and someone that's living on the streets in Ghana, it's not that the millionaire in America is like way up here and the person on the street in Ghana is way down there. No, this is literally a flat field, a flat plane. The millionaire in America is over here, and then the person in Ghana living on the street is over here. All on the same playing field. You may lead a life, my friend, that trades some benefits for others in order to have the lifestyle. But it won't automatically make you a more emotionally fulfilled person. It won't make you a more worthy person. Because worthy, if you have been thinking that your worth is tied to other people's perception of you, then you're fucked. Your worth will then always be in the eyes of the beholder. Now, when we talk about art, like, yeah, the financial worth of a piece of art is up to the beholder. Like, do you understand that like a certain painting to me, let's say a Picasso, to me might not be worth millions of dollars, but like I would rather have an Audi. Like I can't wait to have a fancy car. I love cars, right? Which one's worth more than me? Well, the Audi is totally worth more than a Picasso. I mean, all respect to Picasso, but like I value the car and the experience that I get to have with the car a whole lot higher than the experience I get to have with the painting hanging on my wall. It's just worth different amounts to me. Whereas that is not how like humans' worth is, right? Now, yes, you deal with people's perceptions, and that's where like money comes into play. You are providing something that is worth more to one person than another, but you are inherently worthy. If we go back to the ring example, like this ring is worth tons to me because of the sentimental value of it. My grandfather made it. And because of the beauty of it, I love how it looks. Just like the car is worth a lot to me. Would rather have the car than the Picasso. It will always fluctuate then. Your worth to another person, how they perceive your worth, will fluctuate based on their desire for the fullest expression of you. And if you are the Audi, you're a real shit Picasso. No one's going to hang the Audi on their wall. That would be ridiculous. If you're a Picasso, you're a real shit Audi. No one's going to drive a Picasso. It just, right? It doesn't even work. An even playing field, my friend. Everything is on an even playing field. We are inherently purely worthy and worthy of being the fullest expressions. It would be so silly to try to be something that you're not when you understand this. It would make no sense for the Picasso to be comparing themselves with the Audi because they aren't the same. And they have their most worth when they are in their lane being the fullest version of themselves. And then others who want that thing, who desire that experience, are also going to recognize that the worth of that thing. When the Picasso is being the beautiful work of art on the wall, people that love that experience are going to find it and love it and appreciate it. And same with the car. So going back to the example of the millionaire, that is, everything is on the same playing field with the worthiness. It's not about money. It's not about other people's perception. You are worthy just as a human. It would not make sense, again, to ask if we were worthy of being millionaires. You are worthy of having whatever experience that you want to create. Like, you are welcome to do that. But what I'm saying is that you're not going to feel all this more sense of amazingness with a different life. So the question, are you worthy of it? Well, people don't become a millionaire because they're worthy of it. People become a millionaire because they desire that experience, and then they go and do the things necessary to become a millionaire. They make the choices, they make the sacrifices, they make the leaps, they make the mindset changes. It has nothing to do with fucking worth. Now, switch that then, are we worthy of being a millionaire with anything else? Are you worthy of a relationship? Well, that question also doesn't make any sense. Are you worthy of a partner for life? Also doesn't make any sense, right? Or endless partners for life. Or a partner who never cheats. Or a partner who always showers you with support. A partner who doesn't disagree with you. A partner who makes you feel like an iconic unicorn 24/7. No one's worthy of those things because it's not about worth. You don't have those experiences. You don't have that partner because you're worthy of it or not worthy of it. We don't ever choose our relationships based on what we're worthy of. We base our relationship choices on what we think we deserve or the needs that we think the relationship will fill. You allow into your life only what you think you're worthy of. I thought I was worthy of being treated like crap by my past relationships. And so I welcomed it. I went after that experience because I thought I was worthy of it. I thought that I deserved it. I thought that I wanted it. It was fulfilling a need in me. Let's be honest here. Like, it was so fun. It was thrilling to try to predict the emotional instability of dating a narcissist. I was constantly getting to play these mind games where I would be gaslit, and then I would try to figure out like what was going on in his head and I enjoyed that experience. I wouldn't have told you I enjoyed it at the time, but on a subconscious level, it was meeting a need. It was meeting a desire to be distracted from how much I disliked and hated myself. It met my needs. In order for you to welcome in a different experience, you need to also know that your worth doesn't change with that new experience. My worth hasn't changed since my very first relationship, and it won't change till the day I die. Your worth is constant for your whole freaking life. Babies don't come out and then do something to make themselves worthy, right? They are worthy right then and there. It's not about other people's perception. I'm going to drill that one more time. Your worth is inherent, and it's time for you to see yourself as worthy. Your perception of you is the only perception that really, really matters. And so, my friend, I want you to just close your eyes for a minute and soak in these truths. that you are worthy of these emotional fulfillments because you get to create your emotional experience always. And you are worthy of feeling every single one of these things I'm about to list. You get to see yourself, to perceive yourself as worthy. So close your eyes. And if you want, you can repeat after me that I am worthy of X. Okay. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of desire. You are worthy of joy. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of experiencing all the fucking thrills of life. You are worthy of feeling epically supported. You are worthy of empowerment. You are worthy of feeling fucking iconic. You are worthy of feeling calm. You are worthy of feeling curious. You are worthy of understanding. You are worthy of satisfaction. You are worthy of fulfillment. You are worthy of knowing. You are worthy of intimacy. You are worthy of being and feeling alive. You are worthy of love. Now, my friend, I want to welcome you to a brand new program I have called Worthy. And this is our work. For you to, one, up-level your sense of worth. For you to really, truly be valuing yourself, for you to see your worthiness. You have worth beyond belief. And for you to turn up the dial on your perception of your worth. To know that your worth is 100%. There's not a value scale. You are worthy. And for us to work on your perception, because your perception, just as everyone else's perception, there is more of a scale there. And so the goal for this 4-month group coaching program is for you to walk away knowing how absolutely worthy you are. And this, I didn't mention this yet. Worthy is for your sex and relationships. So we're going to be talking about all these things, whether you are single and dating and working on understanding your worth through the dating process. It'll make it so much more easy for you to go out and meet people and to confidently communicate what you are looking for in a relationship and to know that you are worthy. And so you can therefore have whatever fucking experience you want and ask for it. And they can have whatever fucking experience they want and ask for it. And if your experiences don't align, it's not because either one of you is worth more or less. It's simply just a mismatch of desires. That's it. Of personality, of life that you want to have. Totally fine. It takes all of the pressure off. And same if you are in a relationship. Oh my goodness. Get ready. I have helped confident queers make amazing adjustments in their relationships where they feel so much more intimately connected with their partner because they see themselves as worthy and their desires of worthy. And desires as worthy, and they have the framework to confidently speak up and to create that space with their partner, for their partner to also speak up. So good. Okay, so the two things we're going to do in Worthy are up-level your sense of worth. And two, I'm going to give you the tools to consistently speak up for what you want. We're going to use my Confident Queer process, which helps you work through discomfort and take action towards your desires and to have your own back. Key. We're going to use my BDSM method for uncomfortable emotions. You are going to be able to turn your pain, your discomfort that keeps you from speaking up for yourself right now, into a thrill or into pleasure. Kind of like horror movies, right? Like they scare you, they startle you. Okay, well, is being scared or startled a positive or negative emotion? Well, it's kind of a negative emotion, right? Fear is not something people really want to do. Well, it's a thrill when it's a movie. We're going to do exactly the same thing within the uncomfortable conversations that you need to be having in your partner or partnerships in order to have your own back and seeing yourself as worthy and acting like you're motherfucking worthy. We're also I'm going to give you frameworks for communication to speak up for yourself. You'll really learn processes, collaborate and create your own processes, and practice these processes for speaking up and for having your own back. You'll have my support as a coach, and you'll have the support of the community. It's a group program. We're all going to be here to encourage you, to celebrate with you, and to catch you when you fall. You've literally never had anything like this. This is like, just imagine a small, incredible group of queers who are here for the same thing, to up-level their sense of worth and to do the terrifying, uncomfortable work of speaking up for themselves so that all of you can be creating the experience you want. It starts with recognizing yourself as worthy so that you don't have as much on the line anymore. You having a fulfilling relationship, you getting what you want from your partner doesn't make you more worthy, and them not giving you what you want doesn't make you less worthy. My clients consistently find that they date easier and that they enjoy their relationships more. They are no longer faking shit to please their partners. And I love this. My clients consistently no longer feel guilty for their wants and desires. It's so freaking awesome. This is for you. The exact same thing you are 100% capable of, my friend. So come on in. And before you go anywhere, I want to read you this beautiful poem to just really help you soak in your sense of worth. And then for you to take the next daring step on your journey to understanding to your core your worthiness. This is a poem called Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. You, my friend, are worthy. Let's create an experience that stems from your deep understanding so that you can have a fuck yes relationship, a relationship in which you really feel like your needs are being honored because you first honored them and spoke up for them. Let's create a relationship or relationships where you feel brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous, where you know that you are a child of God, or God as you experience God, spirituality, whatever, the universe, where you make manifest your ideals for your life because you know that you are worthy already, and therefore also worthy, able, welcomed, encouraged to create any experience that you want. My unicorn, I cannot wait to work with you inside of Worthy. Come on in. I've got the AC or the heat on, whatever you need. The temperature is perfect. The room is decorated. It's inviting. It's warm. It's got gorgeous, iconic, rainbow, iridescent patterns and silks and chairs and cushions all waiting for you. You are worthy of a brand new experience of yourself, your love, your sex. Welcome to Worthy. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to coachalexray.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.